you can tell me how my mic is sounding. Microphone check, microphone checker. Hey you guys, hola, hola. Ooh, praise Jesus. My camera is like crooked. I don't know what's going on. Let's just make sure I'm not crooked. The camera can be crooked. Look at, my hair is all little because I've been sweating. I don't see any comments just yet. Do you, babe?
Nope.
Well, it says connected to YouTube and Facebook.
Not the I mean, I'm just not seeing it. All right, let's see if.
I don't see any comments though.
Tina Burke from New York says hello.
Oh,
She's
okay.
on the YouTubes.
Hey Madonna. Hey Carmen.
All right.
Madonna will probably recognize something I'm going to share tonight from the membership. Hello, my friend. Hi, Miss Carmen. How are you? Angie Champagne. Thank you so much for joining us for the auction on Friday, Angie. You get to see more of the madness. I think it's more fun when David does the auction. You guys can weigh in tonight and let us know.
I disagree. I think the auction went so much better putting you on camera than me. And you know I'm not afraid to be in front of people. I just think it's better when we're selling your stuff, because that's what we're doing.
Maybe, what if I wrote you a card with like descriptions on there?
I'm not going to sell it like you sell it. I mean, it's just the truth. You know what it is. You know what you did with it, if it's something you did.
Where I found it.
Yep.
The story behind it. I know.
It just makes sense.
But you're more fun on camera, though.
So this is not I don't want to do it. I just think it's better when you do it.
Ooh.
That's all.
Y'all, it is so hot here. You know what, Angie? I don't sell these. Sherry from Butternut Hollow made this cup for me when we went to Carmen's in October. And I use it all the time so I can drink enough water. So I do not sell these cups. Sorry. Lord have mercy. Sound like my Amarnaki. Ooh.
So for those of you that don't know, on Friday, Royce is on the Whatnot app. 5 o'clock, same time as here. Well, it's 5 o'clock Arizona time.
Yeah, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
So this exact time, just on a Friday.
Because you know, I don't have enough to do.
Yeah, and she's clearing out some of her maker stuff. There's a few things that she made.
Yeah, like that acorn behind you. I don't know if you can reach it. Probably not. It's okay.
Let me see.
It's on top of that thing because it was on your seat and I just said it on top of, no, behind there, babe.
Oh, yeah.
Can you reach it?
Yep. I pull a muscle while I do it, but I
Don't
can
do
reach
that.
it. Too late.
So poor George, you guys, I get ideas for stuff and I just have to execute them. And I saw these on Pinterest and so, you know, here I am. So like this acorn is one of the things that we auctioned off, and this piece comes off. So you could like take it off and paint it or decoupage or whatever and then glue it back on. And the bottom is some antique tin that I have left over, and you can either like milk paint it or you can just leave it. I don't know. But we had pumpkins and acorns, and I think I'm gonna have George make some leaves. I was thinking about that. That would be fun, right?
You did the socks.
Oh yeah, the stockings. We auctioned off some of the stockings. And hey, Robin, thank you. It was fun, right? Susan, girl, it feels like it's 120 degrees. It's because it's humid. It's humid. So we're dying. I mean, it's humid for us. If you live in Virginia, you probably think it's dry.
Yeah, it's been excessively humid for us right now.
Well, it's monsoon season, babe. So let's
all
say,
right.
you know what? Let's say hi real quick.
Just for everybody to laugh at us, it's 15% humidity right now.
Isn't it? That's it?
That's it. But for us, that's a lot. Normally, it's like 1-2%.
I know, but what's the temperature?
101.
Really?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it. It's what the National Weather Service says. And if you can't believe the National Weather Service, who can you believe?
Carmen, just an inch on the map. I know, right? Just an inch on the map.
So, yes, we are, the last couple of days have just been, I couldn't go back to work. I mean, my work. So I did your work.
Come on now.
So, what?
Yes. No, Angie said, come on now. I don't know what the tone is. It could be, come on now, like it's not that high, or like, come on now, let's get started, or I'm not sure, Angie.
It's not high humidity for the rest of the country.
I know. It is for us. We're just not used to it.
But for us, it's really high, and it's...
Hey, Shannon.
Now, I want to stress, if it's like 75 with 85% humidity in St. Louis,
yes,
you're falling over.
yeah.
So we're 101 with 15%. I think the numbers kind of even out.
They do. It's hot.
All right, so let's see.
Let's say hi to everybody.
I did lose the initial group that said hi on Facebook when I was reaching for that because I bumped my settings. So just say hi again. Tina Burke from Nevada, Vintage Bandits Mercantile.
Hey, Beth.
Jean Hicks from Virginia, Deb Hewlett from Minnesota, Susan Glazer from New Braunfels, Texas. Redeemed is in Manistee, Michigan. She loved the Whatnot sale.
It was fun.
Susan says in Texas, her feels like temperature right now is 104.
Yeah.
Yolanda Payton Jones. Tino, did I say Tina before? I did. She's up in Reno. Mary Beth Martin, 67% humidity in my house with a temperature of 77 in southeastern Wisconsin.
67%?
I guarantee 67.
You just wet.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
Lord.
I'm saying. So it's comparative.
Yeah. So when you say it's a dry heat in Arizona, we're serious. It's a dry heat.
Yeah. Over in Texas, 45% humidity right now. Woof. That's rough.
That's rough. The second is hot, too.
Didn't think this was humid when I first moved here from South Florida 7 years ago. I'm the same way when I moved from Chicago.
Yeah.
15% humidity, nothing. Yeah. Oh, Tina is unraveled.
Oh,
Tina Burke.
Oh, yeah, Tina Burke, yes.
And she says she got your stuff.
I
got her
hope
stuff.
you liked her. I know. I think you get 2 boxes. And then I didn't put a gift in your box this time, Tina, only because, girl, I was trying to get stuff packed. But the one I'm going to send out, I sent out later. Anyways, I'll take care of you.
Okay, over on Facebook, we have Jill Gomez Haley from Florida. Robin Talaski said the auction was fun. Angie Champagne says 20. I'm not sure what that is. Pam Wasson from New Harmony, Indiana. Carmen Dahmer have lots of antique tin. You should come up.
It's only an inch.
It's just an inch on the map. Shannon Booth, Stephanie Devine. Oh, Angie says not that hot. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovers from beautiful Illinois. Karen Moyer. Ours in Harrisburg today is 85% humidity. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
No.
Flea Brown. Apparently, I know 2 Flea Browns.
Really?
Well, because I was saying, look, here's what Flea. I said, Flea is in Machu Picchu.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
went,
that's
no,
right. No.
that's no.
That's not
So
Flea.
apparently I know 2 Felicia Browns. And I know I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry, Flea.
No, it's Felicia.
No. She says there's a specific way to say it. It's not Felicia. It's, I don't remember how. And she always said, just say Flea, it's easier.
Okay.
So, let's see. Rustic Rehabs says she'll stick with her snowy state. Joe Zimdar's Bane Black. How can I purchase your rice papers? You can't. You cannot purchase Royce's rice
Well,
papers.
so my papers are not rice papers.
That's
it's
why.
Tissue paper. But you have to find a retailer. If I know we have a couple of recycled retailers that are on tonight. Can you guys put your links in the comments so customers can find you?
Okay. Kathy Dean, 71 comfortable degrees in Detroit. Celestine Todd. Yes. Celestine Todd. Flea says humidity in Santa Barbara is 77%, but what's the temp? I'm going to guess it's like in Santa Barbara.
Probably 88.
What?
Maybe?
No, I'm going to say 71, 72.
I don't know. It's been hot in California this year.
Oh, Angie says 20s are bid on the Acorn.
Oh.
Pat Reed from Oregon. Susan Chilberg says, hi, kids. God bless you, Susan.
I know.
Jane Higginbotham from Payson. Rustic Rehabs. Felicia. Yeah, see, it's not Felicia, it's
Hey.
Felicia.
Oh, okay, Felicia.
I knew there was a special way. Avo Goldsmith
Hey, Shaz, I
Chester.
don't think we've seen her in a while.
And yes, Shaz Conabear from the UK. Sandra Grandy. Put her link up. Good job, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, and Flea says 79. I was close in Santa
you were
Barbara.
close. What did I say, 88?
Yeah, Susan is in very comfy Elkhart, Indiana.
Well,
Elkhart, isn't there a drag strip there in Elkhart?
I don't know.
I want to say that was one of the places, either that or auto racing, like there's a name for it. I forget. There were places that in the Chicagoland area you knew, like there was a drag strip up in Wisconsin, and there was something in Elkhart that Chicagoans would go to, and I don't remember what.
I gotta.
So there we go. Oh, and who else? Eva Huron from Saskatchewan. Go Rough Riders.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you are new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell. The voice you hear behind the camera is my ride or die husband, David Bell, and together we make up Roycycled Treasures. Welcome. This is our Chattin and Craftin, so we do a lot of chatting tonight. So if you would like short videos and get to the point, this is not the place, but you can watch on YouTube. I do have some edited videos available on there. But we like to hang out and chat on Sundays.
So, a couple of things before Royce gets started. Number one, if you're on Facebook, we would certainly like it if you like the page.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Because you may just be stumbling upon us, in which case, welcome. Do make a comment. Do share the post. It does help. Hit an emoji, whichever one you like. The more engagement, the more likely you are to see
Yes.
the post when it comes up. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button,
Boston.
and also hit the bell. The bell will let you get notifications, but you do not have to get all YouTube notifications. You can customize. It lets you pick which channels you want notifications for,
Yes.
which really does help, because otherwise your phone would be going crazy.
Yeah. I don't get alerts for anybody.
And of course, we like it when you comment.
Yes. Please and thank you.
Oh, and Shaz says, been a rough year, so hopefully everything's good. That's why she hasn't been here for a little while.
Oh, well, I did notice that you weren't here. Prayers that everything gets better or is better. And I see Riri is on too.
So we have a question already. Over your right shoulder, excuse me, there is a black frame, and somebody wants to know who did that.
You know what? This is a piece of cardboard.
Oh, Kathleen Hoovers wants to know if you did it live, on a live.
I don't know. I don't think I did this live. I probably should do this live. I think this is a Roycycled frame stencil. And then this is the Roycycled dress form decoupage paper. And I kind of fussy cut it and I put it in there. And I think I just did this when we first got the frame stencils just to play. So I did not do a live for this project, but I could. That's an idea. Because it is legitimately just a piece of cardboard. You see, I practiced with another stencil on the back. But I like the way it came out, so I decided to put it up here on my mantle.
I'm going to apologize to everybody from Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. I've been 30 years away. So I was confusing two Elkharts.
Oh.
I was confusing Elkhart, Indiana with Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, which is Road America. I knew there was some kind of auto thing.
You were close.
I was.
So you guys, for tonight's project, this is like a box. I'm assuming it holds some kind of cards. I don't know what kind, but the bigger ones, right? It has the little thing in here, right? And so I'm gonna be upcycling this tonight because we had a room in our house that was my mail room, and then when we got the warehouse, everything went to the warehouse. And so the back room I'm going to make into like my art studio. My poor husband. But it's been like a catch-all for the last few months because we made my inventory room, we made it over for the grandson. So Now I'm gonna work on my art studio, and I want it to be a really inspirational space, but I want it to be like completely recycled. So it's gonna be like apothecary, industrial, dark academia kind of space. And so you guys are gonna help me stay on course to get projects made for it. So this project will be one of the first projects that I do for that room. But I wanted to have this big box with the big cards because sometimes I'll have an idea for something that I want to do, and I want to kind of just see if it'll work, because my ideas do not always work. And so having like a space where I can make something really quick and then I can stick it in this box will be useful. But first I want to just upcycle this box. And I love the box, but I don't like this orange oak on here. I have taken the liberty of sanding the finish off of the lid, because we're going to redo that and we're going to decoupage the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting this bottom white while you guys catch up.
All right, Karen Moyer used to have a box like that, just a little longer in length. Used it like a file drawer with index cards.
Yes, I'm going to give it some. I think I'm going to take some like mixed media paper and cut it the size of index cards, and then just put blank ones in there so that I can make like little mini projects, and I can store them in here.
We have Rebecca Aguayo from Arizona. What part of Arizona? We're always interested. Marty Hardy says, have you released your new papers yet?
Not yet, Marty. So I put them up for sale last week, and we sold out so quickly.
Hold
so I
on.
have a lot of
Specify
retailers.
you put them up for sale
For the retailers.
For the retailers.
Not for public. And
Right.
they sold out so quickly. So we have another round coming in, and so we're going to hold off a little bit longer. I'd like to have more retailers have inventory before we release it. And I know I'm late, you guys. I'm sorry. This year has been a lot of pivoting and adjusting. So we're just trying to keep up. So soon and very soon, it'll be out.
Oh, here we go. Elkhart, Indiana is the RV capital of the world.
Really?
All right.
I thought, what's the area between Phoenix and right when you come out of the mountain?
Say it again.
What's the area right when you come out the mountain? When you're almost to Phoenix?
Oh, Superior?
No, not Superior, further.
Apache Junction,
I
Gold
thought
Junction.
Apache Junction was the RV capital of the world.
Oh, no. Oh, please, the western side of the state gets way more RVs than Apache Junction does.
Really?
Yep. Yuma, Parker, Havasu, Bullhead.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
Yep.
have seen way more over there. Flea, I want you to know I was talking about you while I was setting up today, because I still don't have a hook for my dryer, but I was looking for one.
Shy C says, are you using a stain blocker?
I am not shy, but you bring up a very valid point. I should be. I'm out of white primer, so I'm using regular chalk style paint, but if you were doing this project, I would encourage you to use a stain blocking primer, because you're absolutely right. This will probably bleed. Honestly, for me, it doesn't really matter. Even if it does bleed, it'll just make it look old, so I don't mind. But if you wanted to have a nice clean finish on old wood like this, you would definitely want to use a stain blocking primer. And if you're decoupaging, you can just do a white primer and decoupage right over it. So it's not like you have to, paint white and then do a primer and then paint. If that makes sense.
MJ says that appears to be an old box from the old library systems. I remember them from school libraries.
It's kind of like a card catalog. The cards are really big though, so I don't know.
Jeannie Chanot, are you located near Scottsdale? Hope to go with my husband to the car truck show in October. We are not.
No.
We're a good 2.5 hours from Scottsdale, depending on traffic.
Depending on how you drive. No, I'm just kidding.
And depends on if they're doing blasting through the mountains, because every 2 days they shut it down.
Yeah.
And add an extra hour through the detour. So no, we are not near Scottsdale. David, Rustic Rehabs. David, will you be coming to Sonnet's Wisconsin retreat in October with Royce? Well, yes. I think I am.
Yes, he is. We've already booked our room.
I'm telling my boss tomorrow I'm taking a week off, so.
Well, it's the end of the year.
Yeah, and we don't have anything going in October, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time for me to take a break, and I can move because that's the first week of the month. I'm usually booked up on my talk show. I can move everybody to the second week with enough notice. That's not an issue.
But yes, I'm excited. We have our room booked. We booked an extended stay. Well, I don't know if it's an extended stay. Whenever we're going to stay somewhere for like 5 days or more, I like to get a room that has like a kitchen and a refrigerator, you know.
Yeah, Laura Seraphin Sherman says those kinds of quality boxes are difficult to find. They do not make quality items like that anymore.
They really don't.
Yeah.
And even the hinges are brass, you know what I'm saying? They just don't build things. And that's why I love shopping for vintage. And look at that. Can you guys see that yellow? It's bleeding through.
Jody Ann asks, what kind of stain blocker do you use when you use a stain blocker?
My favorite, and I do carry Wise Owl, just being completely transparent, but Wise Owl stain blocking primer is my favorite because it works really, really well. But I'm just using regular chalk style paint, so you guys are gonna see some bleed through, but honestly, I want this box to look kind of rickety, so it's actually gonna add extra character to this specific project. But Wise Owl stain blocking primer, I love it. You can get white, clear, or gray in Wise Owl's primer, which is nice. So generally, if I'm going to be like, let's say that I wanted to paint this and then sand back to reveal the wood, I would paint with a clear primer, right? That way I can still distress and see the wood through or whatever underneath. But if I'm going to do like a jewel tone, either reds, purples, any of those colors, I like to use a gray primer because you get way better coverage than using a white. It's easier to cover gray using jewel tones than it is to cover a white primer. And then of course, white primer is standard.
Rustic Rehabs, can't wait to meet you both. Yes, I like a mini kitchen too on any hotel, any
Yes.
stay length. I'll be honest, I don't unless we're there for a while.
Yeah, because we're not, if you're there for a couple of days, you probably wouldn't use it, but it does save us. Because like we went to Vegas, we were there for what?
6 days?
6 days. And so we went to Target and just bought stuff for the room so we could just eat breakfast there. And then you have snacks. And I mean, you know.
We look, we're getting to the point now, I hate to say it sounds so old, where you get a meal and in a restaurant, you just don't finish it all.
Yes.
And so we would bring it back to the room and finish it.
Yeah.
It was great.
We really need to start just agreeing on one meal and just sharing it at
Yeah,
this point.
that's never going to happen because,
I know.
yeah.
I like it spicy.
Did you see, I was going to say, did you see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz
I did.
when he was talking about tacos?
Yes.
And I'm sitting there going, yeah, Tim, I'm with you. I'm right with you, buddy. Ground beef, cheese, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
You put spice in it, black pepper is pretty much top of the spice chain.
I need some salsa
I know.
and some, I
So-
need some stuff.
Let's see. When is sign up for the retreat? Rima Becerra.
Oh, you know what, Rima? We are going to have a link inside the membership this week for you guys. So Rima is in the Royce Cycle Besties membership, so they get first pick for the retreat. And then whatever seats are left over go out for early bird pricing after that. So we're working on it. Brenda should have it ready this week. I think it's going to be in Tuesday's email. I'm pretty sure.
The good news is there is early bird pricing.
Yes.
So whether you're in the membership,
Well, membership gets an additional discount.
Right.
Yeah.
but I'm saying it'll be less expensive for anybody in the membership. And if you're on the wait list, it will still be less expensive than the general when it really goes open to everybody.
Yeah, because the early bird will go out to the wait list first.
Yep.
And the retailers, wait list and the retailers. And then after that, it'll be, because the further out we get, it's just harder to plan.
Carmen Dowmer, something important. How are those beautiful grandbabies?
They are beautiful and perfect.
They are off with mom and dad right now,
Yes.
celebrating mom's birthday. So good for them.
I hope I'm sure they had a good time. They
I
probably spent most
have
of
to
the
hope
time
they
in
had
the
a good
pool.
time. So So we will celebrate our daughter-in-law's birthday when they get back.
I know. Are we gonna go to the steakhouse? Is that what we're gonna do?
We can.
I vote yes.
I'm okay with that. I'm always up for steak.
I never get steak when we go to the steakhouse.
Christy Wittenberg, I like the kitchens in hotels. I'm on the road so much with vendor shows or Comic Cons. Yeah, they do really make a big difference. Rustic Rehabs, David, that is so Midwestern. Pepper is your big spice, and I don't even like a lot of pepper.
He does it. I have to be really careful with the black pepper.
Yeah.
Although since we've been married, he's gotten used to the onion powder.
Yeah, onion powder's okay.
I know, we gotta have something, baby.
Yeah, well, I can't.
When we first started dating, it was salt and pepper. Come on now.
I can't do garlic. I wish I
know.
could. I love garlic. I would have garlic in everything, but I can't. So, let's see. Rima says can't wait. Jeannie should know, what are the dates for the retreat?
The retreat is going to be April 24th through the 27th. I think those are the dates. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let me double check.
Of 2025. So it feels like it's far out, but it's not. I feel like it's tomorrow.
Are you doing Thursday through Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, 24th through the 27th.
Okay. Yeah, Thursday night we'll have a meet and greet. I like to have travel days. So like Thursday, you can travel in, get in your room, get settled in. We'll have the meet and greet Thursday night. And then Friday, Saturday, we are just creating all day. And then on Sunday, half a day, and then the rest of the day for travel. That way, I want to make sure everybody's like comfortable traveling and not stressed out trying to get from here to there.
We don't have any word on whether or not we're going to have air service into our community yet.
No.
Our airport manager is working hard on it, but we haven't gotten any word yet. Fingers crossed you will be able to fly in to Phoenix and catch a connecting flight to Safford. But if not, last time you did a retreat, there was a lot of carpooling, that sort of thing.
Yes. So what I'll do is once we really launch it, I'll make a group on Facebook, so you guys can pop in there and everybody can chit chat and just make arrangements to like hitch a ride. Because like when I went to Georgia, I shared an Uber with somebody else who was coming. Their flight was the same as mine. And when I went to Carmen's in October, I caught a ride with Tracy because our flights got there at the same time. So you guys know, you just touch base with somebody and hitchhike a ride. I don't know. It's super fun. I've had the privilege of meeting so many creative people over the years from going to events. I remember the first event I went to was Angela's at Dogwood Exchange in Tennessee. She invited me to come and teach. And Angela came and got me that time. I was a teacher. I was a guest teacher. So she came and picked me up from the airport. But my family gave me such a hard time. They're like, let me get this straight. You're going to fly to Tennessee to go and stay at your Facebook friend's house? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I got a little bit of paint on the lip right here, you guys. So I'm just going to sand that off, so it'll be nice and clean. I like to do this before I bring in any kind of clear coat or sealer, because the chalk paint is open and it makes it really easy to just sand that right off. And this box is nice. This is an oak box. It's just the 1980s oak, and I don't like that.
Excuse me.
That 1980s orange oak. Although the grain is pretty tight, I probably could have just stained it, but okay. So my plan is on the top, we're going to decoupage the bottom, and then I'm going to do something different on the top. I hope I have enough time to do everything. I've been trying to do projects that I could finish. So we'll see if we get finished tonight.
Let's see. Denise Reynolds, I love the papers you included in Sonnet's Maker's Box.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting. When I design for like Royce Cycles, I have to think about so many different things because I'm designing for like tens of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to Sonnet's box where I'm designing for, you know, less people. Still a lot of people, but less. And so it's fun designing because I don't feel as much pressure. The pressure keeps getting heavier.
Wendy Gerard, glad to hear that you are joining in at Wisconsin. I'm guessing this is for me because we can talk North Stars and Blackhawks. She was a Dino girl. For shame on you, Wendy. For shame. Dino Cicerelli should be. He should be. There should be a statue of him for kids to know who not to grow up to be.
Oh my.
He was a great player. He just owned the Blackhawks.
He owned your team.
He did. But legitimately, he was a great player. It hurts to say that.
I think I'm going to go ahead and stencil the top really quickly, and then we'll decoupage.
Rima Becerra, you would not survive with my cooking. I put garlic in everything. Royce has been there when apparently I've eaten garlic and didn't know it.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It really isn't good.
Yeah. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, and that's not like, ooh, David's stinky kind of thing. No,
David is sick.
David, passed out, and yeah. Rima Becerra, I said that, excuse me. Kathleen Hoovis, are you painting the top too?
So I have a plan for the top, you guys. I do not know if it's gonna work. We are going to see. What I would like to do on the top is I'm gonna use some wood glue and put the apothecary on there so that the wood shows through. But I'm gonna glaze the top first because I don't like the orange. So I'm gonna use Wise Owl's Black Walnut glaze over the top and dry that. And then I'm gonna go over with the apothecary. This is the new apothecary collection stencil from Recycled. You guys, last year we had the beakers and bottles and we had the cloche and jar stencils, the bigger ones. And you guys asked for them to be smaller. So this is literally 3 different stencils on one stencil, so a lot smaller. I'm gonna put the apothecary across the top, and I do wanna put the little elements on the corners. And then I'm hoping that either I can put the cloche right here or the beaker. I haven't decided which one I wanna put yet. I'm thinking the beaker would be really cute with a little sprig kind of coming out of the top of it, right? Or if I use the cloche, I can put something different in there. I think I want the beaker though. I'm really wanting that. So anyways, that's the plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and glaze this top right now, and then we'll let that glaze dry while we decoupage. I mean, let it sit for a few minutes because I want it to absorb into the wood really well because I want to adhere my stencil.
All right.
Not adhere it, but I'm gonna be using an adhesive with my stencil because I really want to make sure I get a clean stencil.
Sarah, you need to help me with the pronunciation of your last name. I know you have in the past, and I apologize. I want to say it's Sarah Zocheadle. I think Zocheadle. That's what my friends said when I went to Tammy Schlotterbeck Halls for the first time. Now I've been twice, and she's family. Talking about when you get together.
From your Facebook friends, right?
Laura Seraphin Sherman, all that stuff from the 80s is coming back into style. Furniture, colors, clothing, even the big hair. Wonder if Aquanet hairspray will come back.
Right? You remember choking to death in the girls' bathroom in the 1980s, right?
Lori Goshi, or Gashi, excuse me, I don't know which way. I remember hanging up dinosaurs for Dino at the old stadium. Had season tickets.
Oh, wow.
Susan Chilberg, garlic's so good for us, but smells so bad unless everyone eats it.
I love it. I'm eating it. You're going to have to just...
I don't think it smells bad on people. I think it smells wonderful. How many times do I tell you when you're making something with garlic, it smells fantastic? It's good. I just can't eat it. Let's see.
Maybe, here we go. So I'm not trying to cover the wood grain on this one. You guys see how it just, so this is, let's see, we'll look at before and after. This is before, right? It's super orange, and this just knocks it back some. And I probably could have sanded a little bit better, but I think I might put it on there. I'm gonna put it on there a second time and let it sit for a little bit longer and see if I can get that grain to absorb a little bit more. When you're working with hardwoods, you usually have to give it a little bit more time to absorb than, like, if this were pine, it would absorb more readily, right? Because it's a softer wood, but this is a pretty hard wood. So I'm going to leave that, but I have to be careful because I don't want it to dry on there. So I'm going to have to do a bit of a dance.
Jeannie Chanot asks, do you need to top coat on top of the glaze? I have a 1940-ish cabinet that I painted with milk paint. I want to glaze over the top to give it an old grunge look. Wondering if Wise Owl glaze will give me that effect. Your thoughts?
It'll give you that glaze. I would say yes, you want to seal over your glaze, especially for furniture, so that you can have good protection.
And Shannon Booth asks, could retailers who sell the stencils post their sites again? She'd like to get that stencil. Amber Demakowitz, I'm so late. You're good. That's good. Wendy Gerard.
Attendance here, Amber.
Wendy Gerard. I lost interest in Dino Cicerelli when I saw him wearing clogs. That was in the 80s.
So I don't want this to dry on my piece, but I do want to wipe this back. So, and again, I just want to knock back that orangey oak and get a different flake.
Yes, Susan Schilberg says milk paint soaks into wood.
Milk paint does?
That's what she says.
Okay. Yeah, I am if you have an open grain, anything will soak into your wood. So like if you have a brown paint, you can water it down and do the same thing too.
Yeah, what you did on this made that box look really good on camera.
Yeah, it just knocks back the orange and just deepens the color a little bit. You guys are gonna laugh at me because I'm gonna paint this top, but I just didn't want that orangey wood to be what's showing through. So that's why I took the time to do that. So now we're gonna let this all dry for a little bit while we decoupage the bottom, which I painted white, just in case you guys were wondering why. It's because we're gonna decoupage. I'm gonna stop before I mess it up. But it's okay. If you guys see how I keep meddling and I'm causing problems for myself, I should let it dry before I keep meddling. But we're gonna do something over the top of this, so it's gonna be okay. And the sides, I think, are perfect. They're just the way I want them. So I'm gonna leave that, and I'm gonna dry this really quick, but I really want it to like sit for a little bit. And I don't wanna try to do something right away, because I'm gonna be using pixie spray with my stencil, because I wanna get a really clean stencil, and I don't wanna pull off anything that I want on top. So I'm gonna let this rest for a few minutes while we decoupage the bottom.
Kelly Morgan says the 80s was a rough fashion and hair era. I'm gonna differ on one thing, and Royce knows. I have a fondness for 80s lingerie.
Oh my gosh. It's just because of your age.
Exactly. It's when I came into my own, as we will phrase it.
Yes.
I was a late bloomer. And that's what I encountered.
I think the 80s was fun. Like, you know, I just remember wearing like 50 million bracelets and wearing the neon colors, and flash dance came out. So we were cutting the neck out of all of our tops. The only thing I did not like were stirrup pants, because I'm 6 foot tall with like a 35-inch inseam. Stirrups were not the business for me.
Susan Chilberg goes, 80s lingerie. Yes. What can I tell you?
Just leave it alone, baby. Walk away. Walk away.
I love the 70s. That's when I was a teen. You were a teen in the 80s.
I was.
I love everything about the 70s, but there was one thing I did not encounter in the 70s.
And that was lingerie.
And that was young ladies in lingerie. In real life.
Walk away, baby.
In real life.
Just
I want
walk
to stress.
away. Walk away.
So I You go back to what your first encounters.
Oh my gosh.
I love me some Jay's potato chips. Those were the first potato chips.
Jay's?
Jay's. That was a Chicago. It was a knockoff of Lay's, but it was the Chicago
a
knockoff.
Jay's. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Jay's instead of Lay's.
When I drank beer, because I can't now, but when I drank a beer, I liked an old style, popular in Chicago.
Chicago.
I mean, that's just, you like what you first encounter. Susan Schilberg says, yeah, the cut apart necks and sleeves.
Yes. So I'm going to be using, I feel like I need to go up a little bit. Let me move this camera up a wee bit because this is kind of a larger project.
Oh, Susan says Jay's are still good. I'm telling you, there was something about a Jay's chip. It was great. It was it wasn't as delicate as a Lay's.
Oh, so they're like a little, were they like kettle, what are they, kettle fried?
But they weren't that hard.
Oh.
It was kind of like in that middle.
Okay.
They were good.
That sounds good.
I'm telling you, Jay's with a hot dog.
So I'm going to be using the Royce recycled mud cloth decoupage paper for the bottom of this. I have to tell you guys, when I make a design, like I think I know what's going to be popular, but I've learned over the years that I never know. I thought this design was going to be super popular, and it wasn't. I just don't understand because I love it, especially for like an industrial home. This goes so perfect. Maybe it's the scale.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, didn't they come in a can? You could get a big can of Jay's, like a mini pickle bucket version of Jay's. But generally they came in bags.
Oh.
You got them in bags.
So, let me see.
And somebody asked, did you ever look for the hitchhiker on the cans of Old Style?
The hitchhiker.
There was something else. Wasn't it a couple being coupley? I'm trying to phrase it in a nice way.
Oh my.
On the Old Style can.
You're just gonna be spicy tonight, huh?
I'm just remembering. It's been a while. Vicky Moore says stirrup pants were a fashion crime.
They were, Vicky, especially for tall people.
Yeah, Susan.
Nothing more, beautiful than a saggy crotch. No, I never even tried to wear stirrup pants because I just knew it just didn't work.
Chris Schmidt, stirrup pants must have looked like baseball pants on women that tall.
Exactly. I think I need this in a smaller scale. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm going to use it on this box, but I think if I had like more, it would fit better. Maybe that's why.
Lori Goshi, I'm about to go eat my Chicago Italian beef sandwich. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. We
you.
went to Tucson last week, and babe, you didn't even go to Portello.
Well, we'd been the last couple times we'd been there, so I didn't want to overload you.
Oh. I just thought maybe, because when we used to go, it was like really special because the only one was the one in Tempe.
Right.
But now we have one in Tempe, there's one in the West Valley, there's one in Tucson.
There's one in Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Tempe, and Avondale.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Avondale.
That's what I'm saying, out in
And
the West
then one in
Valley.
Tucson. I talked to corporate, tried to get their truck out here. They wouldn't come.
Not enough people, baby.
Yeah. It was worth a try, though. Mary Beth Martin, are we still able to get the picture frame stencil from earlier?
Yes, it's still available. Check with your Royce Cycled retailer to see if they have it. But yes, those are still available. And I do have some of those in the warehouse if there are retailers that are wondering.
We've got a couple of people saying smaller would be more to scale, smaller scale pattern.
I know. Maybe that's why. Because I was thinking about furniture, I think, when I made this.
Yep.
Maybe I'll make it in a smaller scale.
Susan Schilberg says stirrup pants killed your feet.
Oh, I can imagine because you have that little elastic under your feet.
You get used to it.
You
And
get
I'm not
used to
saying it
it
because of pants. I'm saying it because I used to wear baseball stirrups.
Oh.
When you played Little League, at least when we played Little League. And basketball, we had stirrups as well.
What?
Yeah. You
wore pants in basketball?
No, not pants, socks.
Oh.
So you would have a white sock that you wore, and then you wore stirrups over it.
Why?
And they were the colors of your team.
Oh, no.
Kids today don't do that. Now you have socks with a stirrup pattern.
Yeah.
But we played into high school. I was still wearing stirrups.
Yeah, I played basketball in high school, and we didn't wear no stirrups either. Not basketball.
Tina Burke says, I was boring in the 80s. 501 Levi's and a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, 501s. I remember laying on the bed to button mine. Because Lord forbid they not be tight, you know. Although 501s, I had a hard time wearing because even though I was skinty, I still had a lot of business in the back. And the 501s were cut for men. They didn't have room for hips.
Flea says, what about black on white along with white on black?
Black on white along with, huh?
I don't know. Yeah, Kathleen Hoovis, we wore stirrup socks too. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, when I played, I started basketball in grammar school. That was in the 60s. And high school was in the 70s. We wore stirrups.
Oh.
In both basketball and then in Little League. I didn't play high school baseball. I wasn't good enough. So, let's see. Rima Becerra, why did you not spray with water?
I did spray Rima. I just think maybe you guys didn't see me because I sprayed the underside. So sometimes for some of the papers like this one, because it's such a, the color is so strong, when you spray the top, it kind of beads up a little bit. So I sprayed under the bottom so that it would actually wet the paper. So for these, you know, there's so much pigment on here that when I sprayed it, it didn't really stretch. So I sprayed it under the paper. So maybe you didn't see it on camera, but I did.
Kelly Morgan asks, how'd you do with the auction?
We did really well. I am so grateful for everyone who showed up for the auction. Even if you didn't buy anything, everybody's energy made it really fun.
Just come hang out.
And we sold out. We sold out of everything, which you guys, when I go through the auction, I'm not just like going through my stuff and just like grabbing random stuff. Like I really try to build out.
For people to use.
Well, no, I try to build out so there's an experience for the auction. So there was unfinished things that you could use for your crafts. There was really cool vintage finds. There was rusty metal. There's old wood. So when I go through, I try to do like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Not a cross section, but a variety.
No, what's the word for like collecting something? Like it. Oh no! Like if you collect something, what do you call it? I'll think of it in a few minutes.
There was a little something for everybody.
Yeah. I gotta think of it, maybe. What is it? Like if you take your time to collect specific things, it's a verb. It can also be a noun. I just can't think of it. It's a not just a collection, but a.
You're curating?
Thank you. Yes, it's I'm curating based on like my people and what I think they would love.
Jody Ann says, I did a project today decoupaging one of your papers to a round source. It was more difficult than a square surface.
It was like an orb? Yeah.
Nancy J. Camp Avalos, I was wearing maternity clothes most of the 80s. Flea says, for the paper you are using smaller scale, black on white, along with white on black. Flea's talking about the paper print colors.
Yeah. I get what she's saying now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and then just start another row.
Yep,
right
Vicky, Zach, Karen Moyer, and Sarah Zocheadle. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yes, curated.
Thank you. Yeah, I really do curate.
And Jean Hicks, yes.
Next week, I'm going to be really focused on Christmas. And so I have like a red toolbox. I think I have 2 red toolboxes, a green toolbox. I've already started pulling out stuff for next week. So I really do try to curate a collection of things.
I saw a newspaper back here too. Is that yours, or are you
Oh
gonna sell
yeah, I
it?
had that out for the membership because
Oh,
we are
okay.
doing jelly plate, and I was showing them something you could do with an
Oh,
old
okay.
newspaper. So
Susan Glazer says, I was in my 30s in the 80s. What I remember most were shoulder pads in business.
oh yes,
Chris Schmidt said the auction was like a smorgasbord, a little bit of something for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun, and honestly, so I love picking. Like I love the process of going out and hunting and finding really cool stuff, but I don't have room for all of it. So the auction is really fun because I'm not. It's not just like I'm getting rid of stuff. I'm like sharing treasures with people who appreciate it too.
So that leads to this question. Karen Moyer says 2 weeks though, right? David is this week? No. Royce is back this week. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah,
Because more people are coming and people that appreciate what Royce has, we're going to keep going with Royce. I'll pick another day.
I thought we were gonna do a day next week for you, just not
Yeah,
Friday.
we'll,
Okay.
we'll pick another day. I got to take a look at my schedule.
Oh yeah.
I got stuff. I know
got
I got
stuff.
Monday and Tuesday, nighttime stuff.
I got stuff.
I don't want my stuff, but I got stuff.
Is this dry?
So yes, Royce will be back this Friday.
Yeah, we decided because we had a really good turnout for Friday, and you guys know if you once you set like a pattern that people are used to, it's better. And so I think if we take a week off, we may have to start from scratch because we're not really established over there yet.
Rima Becerra, do you have old patterns for clothes?
I do. It's funny you asked that because I have like when I went to go get the newspaper for you guys for the membership, Rima, I was looking. I had some old patterns, old Vogue patterns in there. I think at one point I did patterns on like a lampshade, and that was years ago, but that was really cool.
Becky Het says, I was wanting to purchase items that had your paper on it to put in my booth to display.
Oh.
Doggone it, it did it again.
I do have recycled items as well. So that's part of what's in the auction. So some of the stuff is already recycled. Some of it still needs to be, upcycled. So we have like a collection of different things. Now you guys see I have these brass hinges on here, and I don't want to decoupage over them. But the paper is only going to stick where I put decoupage medium. So I'm just going to put the medium on the wood, but then I'm going to just pretend like those hinges aren't even there. And then after everything dries, I'll come back and I'll trim around those hinges. And that's kind of how I deal with hardware in general. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I can come back and, kind of make any corrections when I get ready after I trim it, I can go around the edges to make sure everything is kind of laid down perfectly. I'm gonna snip it. So I'm getting a little bit of tension. So I'm gonna see if I can snip it like right here because I'm gonna cut this off anyways, just to alleviate that extra tension so it doesn't affect my paper and make it wrinkly. I probably should have done that before I sprayed it, but because it doesn't cut as clean once the paper is wet. But I think we'll be okay. And I'm just cutting it right over the hardware, which I'm going to trim that off anyway, so it doesn't matter. But misting your paper really does make it so much easier to get a wrinkle-free finish. So I'm going to eventually seal all that paper, but for the sake of time right now, I am going to just let that dry and we'll come back to that and trim it. But I love this paper with wood. I keep handling this too much.
So just to let everybody on Facebook know, I lost connection. I'm on my tablet on Facebook.
Let me dry
and
this paper before I
I'm
open
trying to
that lid.
restart, and it.
Oh, no.
So anybody that has commented and I haven't read it, I apologize. So I'm going to use my phone, jumping between YouTube and Facebook.
Okay. And for
Vicky's.
some reason, after a while, this repeats comments. Because, like, I can see the comment way from earlier about the papers in Sonnet's box.
Yeah. So Vicky Zach says, "I'll tell you, Saturdays are saturated. Don't do a Saturday show." That makes sense.
Okay. That makes, yeah.
I mean, people
Did you do yours, Vicky? Are you Vic's, oh, I forget the name of your shop. But did you do your Saturday, right? And I meant to hop on, but it was at 2 o'clock, and we were at the warehouse all day on Saturday, and I completely lost track of time.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even go back to work, because we were at the warehouse. Well, no, I didn't go back to work because it was hot.
It was hot.
And I would have to go outside to do my work, and I said, I don't care.
My poor husband.
So instead I worked at the warehouse,
Yes.
which I was happy to do. Kelly Morgan says, I need to have an auction so I can bid on your stuff. True
Well,
story.
I will tell you. So, you guys, if you guys are interested in selling on whatnot, please let me know. Honestly, if I give you a referral code and you sign up, then I get, a kickback. But if you guys have stuff that you want to get rid of, because this is what happens, like for every person, like when I give you guys a link to sign up for $15, I get $5 for each of you who use that $15 to shop with. And so, like, now I have a credit. I think I have like $40 right now. And so I'm going to use that to go and shop for other stuff that I want. I know, it's ridiculous, but there's so much good stuff on there. And I'm drying this, you guys, because I keep handling it while it's wet. And there's a couple of things. When you spray the paper, you'll want to put down a little bit of extra of your decoupage medium, because the paper doesn't readily absorb, when it's already full of water. But it also makes your paper a little more delicate than we're used to. And so I'm handling the paper while it's super wet and it's wet underneath. And so I have another spot where I picked it up and I rubbed the paper there. So I'm going to take a few minutes and just dry this before I keep handling this, so I don't keep tearing it. I'm not super heartbroken though, because I want this to look like something that I bought somewhere,
So we got a couple of things. Vicky says there'll be more under Vic's Picks and Flips.
Yes, Vic's Picks and Flips. Thank you, Vicky. I did, because I went to go see if you had done your show yet, and it was already over. I felt bad. I don't know why I thought it was at 4 o'clock. And it was it probably was at 4 o'clock your time, but it was at 2 o'clock our time.
Joni White says, how do I get the $15 credit?
You know what, Joni? Let me put up, is Joni on Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook.
Oh, I don't have a code for you. Let me put up my code. If you haven't registered yet, I'm going to give you a code to sign up so that you get the $15. So don't sign up yet. Let me send you the code. Okay. Because you'll get $15 to spend. Which is a nice way to start shopping. Lisa, you need a referral code too? Okay. I will put a code on the Royce Cycle page. Are you guys signed up for my channel on Facebook? Because I sent a code out on Friday on the channel, and I also sent one on the text. I text out a code, I believe. So if you have a text from me from last week, there's a code on there. And also, if you're signed up for the Royce Cycle channel on Facebook, I also sent the code out there as well. But I'll post it though as soon as we get done tonight. And last week's show, if you came last week, don't judge me. It was a mess. I ran out of time. I didn't get everything done. We had the grandbaby. This last week was a lot better. This past Friday was a lot better. So I love black and wood together. And you guys see that white right there? I'll just go in with some ink and I'll ink that line so I won't have that. But I love the look of this paper with wood. I think it's a really cool industrial look. So I'm gonna leave the sides like that, but on the top, I want to stencil with the new Royce stencil. And so this is the Apothecary Collection stencil. And I'm hoping I don't pull up anything because I'm going to be using an adhesive. And this one is just like the one we had before, but it's a smaller scale. And this is Pixie Spray. This is my personal favorite adhesive for stenciling. And I get questions a lot about whether or not this is going to leave like a residue on my piece. So I think what happens if you spray the adhesive on your stencil and then you lay it down right away, you're going to end up with, you know, stuff stuck on your piece. But you want to spray your stencil and you want to let the adhesive dry because it's going to be tacky, and you want to be able to put it down when it's tacky, not when it's wet. And so I think that's the trick to not having residue on your piece. So I'm just going to put this to the side and just spray it. And I just did like a nice even spray across the whole thing. And I'm going to let this dry. I'm not going to put it right down right away because I just need it to be tacky. I don't want it to be stuck.
Shane Sellers asked, and you may have already said this, does your auction take place same time and day every week?
Yes, Friday, 5 p.m.
Pacific time.
Pacific time. And so that's why we're having mine again instead of doing David's, is because we recognize that people like consistency.
And we'll do mine another time, no big deal. Jane Belanti, this is Chris Schmidt saying it, Jane Belanti is doing auctions on Whatnot as well, just started a week or so ago.
Yeah, she's doing hers. I missed hers too, because she's doing hers on Sunday. And I know she's been doing the beautiful diamond pendants that she makes. And so I missed her too. I always mess up on the time zones. And I'm just using glue, you guys, for this. This is just Type Bond Quick and Thick. It's a wood glue. You can use a glue. You can even use if you have like an acrylic medium. So all I'm wanting to do is put this down because this is going to act as a resist when I paint over this, because I want the wood grain to show, I want the letters to show up as wood grain. I think that's going to look kind of old world. So I'm just taking a regular makeup sponge and it's stuck to my thing because I use the adhesive, and I'm just going to pat that down on there. And I'm not putting a ton, right? The more product you use with your stencils, the more likely you are to have an issue with product running underneath your stencil.
Okay, let's see. So I'm jumping back to YouTube. I apologize to everybody, making you wait. Cheryl M., have you ever thought about doing a clothes patterned paper, Vogue-like?
I have one that I've started. You guys, it's insanity inside of my brain. It's absolutely insanity. I have one that I've done, but I'm just not happy with it. I need to just start all over again. I just can't get to a place where I feel good about it. But yes, and I do have one that I started like a year ago, but I just cannot bring it together in a way that I'm happy. I don't know. I'm weird.
Marcia Merriman asks, how can we find out the dates and times of the Whatnot auctions for Roycycled? Was signed up but didn't hear a time. That's kind of what we were talking about, was the consistency.
Yeah, so it's always going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Well, Pacific time.
Pacific time.
Because that changes. Pacific, you know.
So always at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then if you guys sign up for my texts, can you give them the number, baby? If you text hello to the number that David's going to give you, then you'll receive notifications for not anything that we do, but like I send a text out right before we go live on Sundays. I send a text out before we start the auction. So if you want to receive like alerts or even like announcements about new designs, you know, they go out on a text message too.
563, right?
It's that one right there, babe.
Okay, yeah. That's what I want to make sure.
So David's going to put the number. Just text hello to that number, and you'll receive a text alert. And then Facebook has channels now. So if you sign up for the Recycled Treasures channel, I send out alerts on there as well. Although I didn't send out an alert tonight for the live on the channel because I don't know what happened. Hey, Liz. Because I thought I was going to do something different. And y'all know, I don't even know. I come in here and I just change my mind. It's enough. I'll have a project in mind, but as soon as I sit in this seat, my mind starts making ideas, and then I'm running around trying to make it all happen.
Okay.
And I am just taking my time, you guys. Tapping this glue down. I want to make sure I have good coverage. And honestly, like, I want to have a nice crisp stencil on the edges, but if there's like glue that doesn't go down and it's not perfect, I don't mind, because I want this to look like it's old, like it's something that I found.
Tina Burke had asked, what were you spraying? That was just water, right?
Spraying for the stencil.
Oh.
For the stencil, I use Pixie spray. It's a stencil adhesive that I spray on my stencil. And for the paper, I was just spraying water. I like to mist my paper to pre-stretch it so that it doesn't wrinkle when I'm decoupaging.
Let's see. How do you search for auctions? Yours are always under what category?
Well, you can search for me with my name. If you look up Recycled 15, you'll see any auctions, and you guys can bookmark it. But if you're looking for an auction, you can search. You can look under like vintage. I think it's home decor.
Yard sale?
Garage sale, I believe.
Garage sale, okay.
It's such a huge category, though. You can go under garage sale, and there might be somebody selling baseball cards.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's one of the things, because like I searched for comic books and action figures because that's what I'm going to sell.
Yeah.
And it's a wide open thing.
It really is. So if you search for like vintage home decor, you're more likely to find the stuff that we're looking
Yep.
for.
Shannon Booth says, and we have somebody that agrees, Kelly Morgan, trying to start on Whatnot, but wondering if I should rethink it since I'm not a creative with a following. Kelly Morgan says, yes, I wonder the same, if it's because Royce is so well known that she does so well. Believe it or not, you don't do that well compared to some folks on Whatnot. You're brand new.
I am brand new, but I do have the advantage of an audience, right?
Right.
Like, if we're being honest, because I have like over 5,000 people on my email list. So when I send that email out, it goes out to a lot of people. Because like right now I have 60 people who signed up with the referral link. And I don't know if somebody who doesn't have an audience is going to have
But there are
that
some people
content.
with auctions where they're like 1,000, 2,000 people in the auction.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm
And
not like,
we're not that.
no.
And that's why I say, even if you don't want to buy anything, just come hang out.
Yeah, but she's thinking about starting on
Right.
herself. Yeah.
But to me, that's half the fun, is the comments.
Yes, and hanging
So
out in the
it's no
comments.
different than here if you just want to watch.
But I think that you can build an audience on Whatnot, right? Like I mean, I'm not a pro. I'm going to be honest. I just started. Friday was just our 4th show. But I watch like Bree, what is her business page? I watched Bree. I watched Sammy from Unicorn Dust. Who else do I watch on there? Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Bloom. I think if you start, you may want to be thoughtful about like what you're going to sell to begin with. Like, you don't want to start with your best stuff on your first show, because you may not get that many bids if you don't have a lot of people in the room. But you can certainly schedule out your shows. Load your stuff up early. Make sure you like tag everything with what it is, so that people who are looking for those things, they can tag your show. So there's things that you can do to get more people in the room. But I mean, I think it's fair to say that I am able to get more people in the room. Because
You
I already
have
an
luxury that
existing
I
audience.
won't.
Yeah.
I have a friend that sells sports cards, and he said not unusual for him to only sell 25% of the items he puts up on any given night.
Yeah.
So something else to consider. Not everything may sell.
Yes.
But that's okay.
And Friday is the first thing that everything sold for us. I mean, we've had
Right.
nights where we had things that didn't sell. Last Friday, I had several things that didn't sell.
Correct.
Um,
So
so I think the trick is to try to get as many people in the room as you can.
yeah, Dorothy Lage, I'm just not sure that I want another app to deal with. Understood.
Understood.
Yeah, I get it.
Hi, Dorothy.
So again, I had a couple of people saying they want stencils. If you're a retailer, make sure you put your links up.
Yes. And so I sprayed my stencil because I didn't spray the bottom part. I want to put a couple of these like corner elements. I don't want to put them on the top, but I think I'm going to put a couple on the bottom.
A friend of ours in the real world, Irene Schmoller, says the 20-80 rule.
Hi, Irene. 20% of your audience is, I don't know which one she's talking about, but I know for me, 20% of your customers, of your audience, are responsible for 80% of your revenue. I mean, and that's true. Even, it's crazy how there's certain things that, I'm a nerd, you guys. I love this kind of stuff. And it's true, like across the board, because even when I am launching something, I use the early adapter bell to determine like how many people are going to sign up, and it's always on point. It's just weird that math works that way.
Joe Schweikert McCartney says, can you go back and buy something that hadn't sold by any chance? Not
it depends on the seller. So for me, you cannot, because I only have stuff listed for the live auction, but there are some sellers who will have things where you can just buy it whenever.
I've seen that.
We are in the warehouse a lot already because I do my wholesale for my retailers for products. So between that and whatnot, like I can't afford more time in the warehouse. I have a membership, I'm producing content. So I don't sell all the time because I just cannot be shipping every day. So I only list stuff for my auctions, and if it doesn't sell, it just goes into the next auction.
Yeah, it'll come back in another auction because we understand not everybody there today is everybody that'll be there the next week.
Yes.
And vice versa. So what doesn't catch people's eye this week might be the one thing that everybody wants the next.
Yeah, it's really different because the piano roll, we didn't even get a bid on last week.
Didn't sell last week, and this week, boy, everybody wanted it.
Yes. So it really just depends who's there. And then the first auction we happened to have a customer who loved rusty metal. I mean, because I think she bought everything rusty metal that I had.
Yeah, and that basket did not.
And the basket didn't move. I mean, so it really depends on who's there. That's a long answer to your short question, but
yeah.
For me personally, I do not do buy now because I cannot be in the warehouse shipping that often. I do good to ship out the stuff from the auction.
Tammy Valoni says, did you just stencil with glue?
I am. I'm stenciling with glue because I want to create a resist on my wood. I'm going to go over this with some black paint in just a few minutes.
Kelly Morgan, this is a great question. I do know the answer to this. I like this. Kelly Morgan, now I see people doing it on their own Facebook and Instagram. Is there a reason you chose Whatnot?
So, I feel like on Whatnot, people who come to the app are coming there to buy. And Whatnot takes care of a lot of the stuff logistically. So, when you go on to buy on Whatnot, your information's already there, right? So I don't have to invoice you after the fact. Like on Facebook, I got to send you an invoice.
Same with eBay.
I have to wait for you to pay, and then like, did you pay? Is it really sold? Is it not sold? It's a lot.
Will somebody retract their bid?
Yes.
I've seen sellers that were upset that they didn't get as much as they wanted, so they retract the sale. It's a mess on some other platforms.
Yes. And so with Whatnot, it's super easy. As a buyer, You go on, you put your credit card in there. If you bid, it comes off automatically.
If you win.
If you win, yeah, if you win, you buy it automatically. The transit it goes through and it's done. And then when I go, like when we get off, I can go to my computer, I can pull a report on who sold what, and then when I go to ship, I'm actually Whatnot charges the shipping, and then I do my labels through Whatnot. So it's just more convenient because
They'll bundle shipping.
Yeah, they bundle.
So it's not like you get charged shipping for each one.
Yes, if
They'll
you buy several things,
yeah,
it automatically bundles it.
It's very convenient. They do a lot of the hard stuff for sellers for the seller.
Yes.
So, Dorothy Lage said, "My joy comes from creating, but I'm having to purge. I want to give my stuff away. I donated one of my favorite pieces to a thrift shop. It hurts, but I can't keep them all, and I just don't care about selling."
Yeah.
Flea Brown, I give my creations away to family friends as party favors. It was amazing. Everybody got to choose what they wanted. Yeah. And if you give it away to something that, like a nonprofit that raises money, fantastic. You've done that.
Yes. And for me, I'll be honest with you guys, I see it as an opportunity to find new customers. There's like a whole new group of people over there. They don't even know I exist. So.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, how will you remove the glue from your stencil?
I'm not going to remove it. It's going to stay on there. And so I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to put a watered down layer of paint, and I'm going to be able to wipe it back super easy because this glue is going to be a resist. So the glue is not going to allow the paint to absorb in the wood.
I think they mean on the stencil itself.
Oh, I'll just wash it with soap and water.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. As long as I wash it like when we get done here, it'll be fine. And for my stencils, I love using like magic erasers, or if you have Melamar sponges, if you don't have like the name brand ones, super easy. And I just sprayed some water on my piece because I'm gonna do like a wash.
You are at 617.
I know, I just saw that. I think I can finish though, babe. Because you guys tell me, should I put a cloche on here or should I put a beaker? I'm thinking a beaker with a fern sticking out of it would be really cute.
I love the idea of things as party favors. At a birthday party that Flea did, that's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, donating to a thrift store, again, you're benefiting somebody that's benefiting others.
I mean, and I donate stuff to.
Yeah.
There are times I buy stuff from the thrift store and then I donate it and I might buy it back again. It just depends.
Yeah. We got 3 beakers so far.
Yeah, I'm thinking the beaker with the sprig out the top would be really cute.
Yeah, Tina Burke, beaker and sprig. Kathleen Hoovis, beaker. Flea Brown, beaker. Madonna Rapp, beaker. Holly Paul, beaker. Yep, there you go.
So again, I'm doing a bit of a dance with the black paint, right? Because I do want it to be absorbed. So I'm going to leave it on there, but I don't want to leave it on too long because I don't want it to dry.
Dorothy Lage says, no family, just one son. Hey, as an only child, that counts. I'm saying that. Just one son is good enough. All us one sons won't stick together. Kelly Morgan, so how do you choose the price? Do you price what you would sell for or lower it, knowing it will rise with bids?
Well, so it's tricky, right? Because you want to bid low enough to engage people, but just be prepared that it might sell for that price. So for me, honestly, I don't know if I'm a good person to use as an example if you're selling, because for me, this is kind of marketing and selling. So I'm like in a win-win situation. As far as if it sells for lower, it's not going to be a huge loss for me because I get to be in front of new people, right? So But if you're selling to make a profit, you have to be more thoughtful about it. That doesn't really answer your question, but
So, because I'm not marketing, we've talked about when
yes.
I do my auction, almost all of my comics are going to start at $1. And we talked about the action figures. Royce is in a different position than me.
Yeah.
So first of all, nobody knows what you guys all pay for the stuff you find that you make things with.
No.
Because you're all getting pieces one at a time. So sometimes you could be overpaying, sometimes you could be underpaying. You're just paying what you're paying. And as she said, it's marketing. Now for me, my audience knows how much the item's worth, what the most recent solds were, what were the first price it was sold at retail. My audience has a very specific knowledge of pricing. So I have to be very specific with my pricing. So it really depends on what you're selling.
And what your purpose is for being
Yeah.
on the.
Mine is basically to clear out like a storage unit.
So I do not know if my plan is going to work. You guys see my glue is white. So the glue is absorbing the moisture when I sprayed it because I didn't let it like chill out long enough. So we're going to see if that worked or not. If it didn't work, worst case scenario, I'll just go back over it with the stencil again. But I'm hoping that the glue dries clear and you're able to see the wood through there.
Dorothy Lage, how do you price your postage? I would prefer to give away for postage cost.
Well, no. So the app charges postage automatically. So when I load something in for my auction, I put the weight in there. And so it tells the customer right there on the screen how much they're going to pay for shipping. And it automatically bills it. That's why I like Whatnot, because it takes care of all that business for me.
But there are mail apps that you can get that will tell you what postage is to various areas. But it's based on the weight and the size.
Yes. But Whatnot doesn't ask you for the size.
I know, but I'm saying for like when you ship to retailers.
Oh, no. I charge ship. Well, yeah, I use Pirate Ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are things that tell you how much the postage is.
Yes.
But you have to know exactly what your weight is, what your dimensions are.
Yes. So I don't know if my plan worked. We're going to have to wait to see. Worst case scenario, I have to go back in and re-stencil that. But I do want to move forward with my bottle and my beaker. So we're going to do that real quick. Hey, babe?
Okay. Kelly Morgan says, David, why don't you say David of Royce Cycled, work your girls game? I'm going to, because Royce has already established the pattern.
Yes.
So yes, I'm going to take advantage of that.
I think you were concerned, though, that people would be, not confused, but like...
Well, the people that come for your stuff don't necessarily want to come for mine.
Yes.
They might, but they may not. And by the way, once I sell it, I don't care what you do with it. You can cut up the comic books if you want. That's up to you.
I want to use... What did I do with that blue paint? Oh,
Teresa Vitrino, early stages of a severe fracture to my humerus.
oh no.
It's not humerus, they have a fractured humerus.
No.
Sorry, Teresa. Hope you're doing all right.
Do me a favor, babe. Can you... oh, no, that's not... Where is my tape? Oh, there it is. Never mind. I found it.
Alrighty.
So, because I'm going to do my DIY stencil brush. I don't have any stencil brushes, you guys. So, I'm just going to take this little round brush. My poor brushes, they get abused so badly. And I'm just going to tape up my bristles. You can use a rubber band too. But it's just going to make them so they're more dense. So it works like a stencil brush. And I probably could use a smaller stencil brush, but I don't have one. So I'm going to go in with this beaker, and I'm going to use a teal, like a blue. We're going to bring a little bit of color into this. you guys notice I'm patting, right? So once I unload my brush and I know that there's not like a ton of paint on there, then I'll like twirl a little bit just to make sure that I get paint down in there. But I don't start swirling really right away because I don't want to push paint underneath my stencil. And I don't think I want that square right there. So I'm just going to ignore that. I'm sad because I can't see my apothecary. We'll see. I'll circle back to that. See, my ideas don't always work, you guys. I'm going to dry this really quickly. And I'm probably going to go over this with a little bit of glaze just because that blue is standing off of this a little bit too much. I needed to let that glue set a little bit more. I think I rushed it. I'm going to try to wipe it off and see what happens later. Because I really do want the wood to show through.
Yeah, sorry about that. Dorothy Lage, I must say that every piece that I dearly love and have a hard time parting with is with Roycycled Treasures tissue or something from Lexi Grenzer Designs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough to let go.
I have, you know, my favorite piece of yours is the one you did with the lady.
And Dorothy says use foil on the stencil section.
Use foil? Ooh, that would be good too. So I'm just going to go in on the stencil, you guys. The little lines that are on the inside, they're meant to represent highlights. And so I'm just going to go in on those lines and put some highlights, like the glass is having a, you know, like it's reflecting a little bit. And I could have put my stencil back down, but I'm being lazy, which may cost me. We'll see what happens. Okay, babe, almost done. I gotta put one more sprig, okay? Just a little bit of reflection goes a long way.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovers, could you peel the glue off to show the wood?
Well, it's wood glue, so it doesn't peel off. You know what I should have done? And I have it too. So I have some Peel Tech, which is a masking fluid, but I didn't want to use it because this company doesn't exist anymore. So I didn't want to use a product that you guys couldn't get. So I could have used a masking fluid, right, and done the exact same thing, and then peeled it back, and it would have been the same. I think that I'm gonna let this wood let it like chill out for a little bit, and I'm gonna come back and wipe it and see what happens. Not all plans work out, but I do like the general way it's looking. I just want my apothecary on there. So I'm not gonna seal it because I know I have to deal with that business up there. But every time I wet the glue, it just reactivates because it's not. And see, I'm gonna end up wiping up my paint because it's not sealed. I think I'm gonna have to redo that. Oh man. I'm gonna have to re-stencil that. It's okay. Not all of my plans work. But it's just paint. And the cool thing is I use a stencil, so I can just lay my stencil right back over the top and do something different. and it'll still be there. And it's actually raised a little bit because I use the glue. So it'll be pretty easy to go in and either use some metallic, or I could use a lighter color and then just glaze it so it doesn't look super bright. Like this looks really bright. I'm probably gonna go over with the glaze just to like mellow it out a little bit.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, would rubber cement have worked?
Yes, rubber cement would have worked. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. So we are doing projects inside of the Royce membership. And so I bought some rubber cement. I haven't used it in ages. Oh my gosh, that stuff is stinky. I forgot how stinky it was. I'm serious. I'm so used to working with water-based products that I forgot how. Woo.
So we got also Teresa Vitrino, would something heavier like a wax or Vaseline worked with the letters?
Honestly, if I had it to do it all over again, I would have just used a masking fluid, because I don't know if Vaseline would give you the clean effect that you want.
And Joe Schweikert McCartney, haven't seen much of Lexi lately. Is she still wrapped up in her new things of material? She just was part of that class.
Yeah, so we just taught a class together, the Stencil Lab 102, and she's been on. She's done a couple of things.
I see Lexi.
Yeah.
I see her posting stuff.
You know, sometimes people don't show up in your feed.
That's my contention with social media is it doesn't always give you what you need.
Or what you want.
Definitely not what you want, but what you need.
So go check out Lexi Grinzer Art, because she's posting, because I know she's teaching a class on landscapes, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I see her stuff. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
Again, the big thing I think is liking.
Yes. Make sure you engage with her page so Facebook will show you.
That's why we say
stuff
at the beginning every time, make a comment, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, share. It really does make a difference and will help get you that stuff.
The information that you want. I really do want this to show. I really wanted the wood underneath though. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, because I really wanted the wood grain to be what showed and not necessarily like paint. But I will figure out what I'm gonna do, and then I'll share with you guys though. So you can see the apothecary, like it's the texture of it, but it's just not gonna do what I wanted it to do. And I think I put a lot of texture too, so that probably didn't help. But I'm gonna go back over it, and maybe I'll use a color that reminds me of wood. But that's my piece, so all I have to do is finish trimming the bottom and seal it, and it'll be done. And then when I'm wanting to work on an idea, I can just take out my pieces of mixed media paper that I'm going to cut to size and put in here, and I can, test something out, and then I can put it back in here. And if it's something that I really love, I can write a note on the back of the card and then keep it in here, so that if it's something I want to recreate in the future, I'll remember how I did it.
Pat Reed says, don't know if you care, but that's called an Ehrenmeyer flask.
Oh, this one is? A beaker? It's not an Ehrenmeyer flask? Okay. I'll take it. That blue is way too bright. I'm going to put some glaze over that. But I don't want to go in with any other products until I rectify this business. Dag nabbit. I should have just used my masking fluid. Okay. But that's all I have for tonight. If you guys, let me see, somebody asked about the membership earlier.
Yes.
If you guys are interested in joining our membership, we meet live 3 times a month, and there's 2 lessons, pre-recorded lessons that are posted each month. And we have a community. We share, we hang out, we create. I probably drive everyone crazy, and so this is a link for the membership. And then somebody asked about I thought I had one for the retreat. So if you guys want to join the wait list for the retreat, you can join here. And when you join, you're not like obligated to do anything. You're just saying you're interested in getting more information. So when we're going to launch to memberships first, and then we'll launch to the wait list next. So if you want to make sure that you get a chance to join us at the retreat, make sure you sign up for the wait list. Erlenmeyer. You need to make 1 or 2 of those boxes for the auction. Oh my gosh. So the stuff for the auction is stuff that I've made in the past. I do not have time to make stuff just for the auction. I wish I could auction off some of my small furniture pieces, because like these typewriter tables came out so cool, but they're too big to ship, so they'll go down to the shop. Is there anything else? Do we have any questions?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Well,
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. I'm going to finish this one. I don't think it's enough for us to come back, like to do a whole nother live with. So I'm going to finish this one. And when I post the picture, I'll make sure and let you guys know, like, I'm not going to be able to rectify this. So I'm going to have to pivot and do something else. So I'll make sure and tell you guys what I did when I do it, when I post a picture of it. But you guys remember, like, there isn't anything that I've done here tonight that you guys cannot absolutely do. You guys see, I make mistakes. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I feel like my people think that if they try something and it doesn't work the first time, that they can't do it, but that's not what it means. It just means that it just didn't work. So we learn from everything. We either learn what to do or what to not do. But either way, it's a learning experience, and it's something that we can take and move forward, right? So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You guys have a blessed week. Remember, there isn't anything that I've done here today that you cannot absolutely do. You can do this. You can do it today. And we'll see you either Friday at the auction, or we'll see you on next Sunday.